All right, we're back, and I think tonight's episode of Smackdown was actually a really good one. We got some really good development heading into WrestleMania 40, some development with especially the triple threat match between Roman, Seth, and Punk. They signed their contract. We also got some stuff with Cody, Randy, Drew, some stuff in the tag team division. So there was a lot going on. I'm not going to waste your time anymore. Let's get right into it. If you guys are wrestling fans and you enjoy kind of episodes of SmackDown and Raw, reviews of those, like and subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more of those and some cool content kind of in between. But let's get right into the review. The show kicked off with Cody Rhodes. He came out, and it took him like literally 5 to 10 minutes before he could even say anything because this London crowd was going absolutely crazy. They were chanting his name nonstop. They were doing the Cody Rhodes, that kind of chant. It was cool, but Cody really didn't say a ton. He just kind of said that on the Raw, the next episode, he would be going face-to-face with John Cena, confronting him, and before he could really say anything else, Randy Orton's music kicked, and he came out to a loud reception. Obviously, these European crowds have been going crazy for Randy Orton, and Randy just kind of gave a basic promo about how he was proud of Cody going away from WWE because he wasn't given the right opportunities in the locker room. He said it took a lot for Cody to go and do that, so he kind of just pat Cody on the shoulder, told him he was proud of him. But after all that, Randy did say that he would go up to Cody's face after he beat John Cena at WrestleMania 41 and respectfully call him out to go and win that 15th World Championship. He said he wouldn't be a coward and kick him down low like John Cena did. He said he would go straight up to his face, shake his hand because he respects Cody, but still wanted to chase number 15. This prompted Drew McIntyre to come out, I was not expecting that. I mean, obviously you have some history with Cody and Randy, but Drew obviously getting that UK pop was huge. He said he should be the one going after Cody's championship at WrestleMania, but because of Damian Priest, he wasn't. So this was a good way to kind of throw some new challengers almost in the mix for Cody before he even defends against John Cena, which I thought was kind of smart. Like, to me, I think it's almost not a foregone conclusion that Cena's winning this, but I think most people would agree that this is probably Cena's match to lose. But kind of introducing some people for Cody to maybe fight for the title after Mania if Cena does lose, it kind of made it a little bit more interesting because it's like, okay, if Cody does retain, this is who he could go up against. He has this opponent, instead of it being a foregone conclusion that Cena wins. So I thought this was a pretty good segment. It kind of set up some things for Cody. Cody didn't really say much about Cena. It was more about some other opponents, which you can argue, is it good for them to be building up new opponents for Cody before he even goes up against Cena? Kinda, but let's see what Raw has in store for Cody and Cena specifically. Next up, we got the Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly for the WWE Tag Team Championships. This was a pretty fun match, actually. Just 4 good ring workers. The Street Profits, I believe it was their first defense since winning the WWE Tag Team Championships. Pretty Deadly put on a good performance, but this is kind of a match where you knew Pretty Deadly was just not going to win. Like, I think the Street Profits are carrying these things all the way until WrestleMania, and it just does feel like that they're setting up for a big multi-person match between the Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, Motor City Machine Guns, DI, just a bunch of different teams. You could have it be a 4-way, 5-way, 6-way, and you could maybe even do like a ladder match like you did last year. But I think that's what this is all building up to, and they're just kind of finding new ways to incorporate different tag teams into storylines because, I mean, you have a lot of these teams going after each other, so it just makes sense that this isn't a one-on-one at WrestleMania. I think a lot of teams are going to get a shot at the tag team championships. Pretty Deadly came out in the Union Jack gear, which was really cool, just kind of repping that UK. And as far as the match went, it was good. It wasn't anything like insane. It was just a good back and forth match, but one that you kind of knew Pretty Deadly was not going to win, so the Street Profits didn't end up retaining here. We then got Caden Carter and Katana Chance against the newly formed Secret Hervis, being Piper Niven and Alba Fire. This was actually a fun match. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. Piper Niven, in my opinion, kind of stole the show, just kind of showing off her power. I really like this little faction for Chelsea Green, having Piper Niven and Alba Fire kind of be that bodyguard service for her. It just fits Chelsea Green like perfectly. I do think they're setting up for Chelsea Green versus Selena Vega as she ran interference after the match, which should be a pretty fun match for the Women's United States Championship. 2 fun workers. They've been building up Selena with those packages the last couple weeks on SmackDown, and they're both just fun to watch in the ring. So I think that's actually going to be a pretty fun one to watch at Mania. If not at Mania, they might do it like the SmackDown before WrestleMania, just to kind of fill that episode of SmackDown, because it's something that they usually like to pack out a little bit. Then we got the United States Championship match between LA Knight and Braun Strowman. This was another good match, something that was It was okay, but it was fun to watch just because Strowman kind of dominated the whole thing. It was one where you're like, wait, are they actually about to put the belt on Braun Strowman right here? But then obviously Jacob Fatu ends up running interference. And now I don't know what they're really going to do with the US title at WrestleMania. I think they're going to do a multi-man match, but like I was kind of set on a multi-man match and then Jacob Fatu and Solo going one-on-one, and that still might be the direction that they're going in. I thought maybe Jimmy Uso would be involved in the United States Championship picture, and again, maybe he still is. I don't know. There's not a super clear direction, but I think ultimately we're going to get some kind of combination of Jimmy Uso will be in a United States Championship match. I think obviously LA Knight's going in there with it, and I think Braun Strowman will be in that match too. I just don't know about Jacob and Solo. You could either toss them in that match or you could have them go one-on-one. I think having them go one-on-one is the better option, but I could be wrong. They might do something completely different. After the match, you could see Jacob, Solo, and Tama Tonga kind of having a little bit of a heated conversation. Solo said, "You better watch the way you speak to me." Jacob said, "That U.S. title's coming home to me whether you want to be with me or whether you want to be without me." So it looks like Jacob is slowly turning babyface in a way. I think that's good for him. I think the crowd likes him a little too much. He's too good in the ring to not be babyface. So I think he'll be a likable babyface. And maybe he walks out of WrestleMania with the United States Championship. Who knows? Maybe they put the belt on Solo or Jacob before Mania, and then Solo versus Jacob is for the belt. I don't know, but I'm liking the way the story's going so far. We then got Charlotte versus Michin, which was, I don't know. I didn't really care for any of this. Obviously, Michin got attacked before the match by Naomi, and then Naomi ends up getting chased off by Jade Cargill, but Charlotte obviously kind of annihilated Michin a little bit. I just don't like the way they're building Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. To me, there's just not enough substance there. I don't even know who I want to win at WrestleMania for that match, but yeah, I don't know. It does kind of seem like they're done with Michin versus Chelsea Green, though. I think they're moving on from that feud, which I'm glad for. It gives Zelina Vega a chance to go after that title. And yeah, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make Charlotte look kind of dominant, but like if you're going to do that, then why have Naomi attack Michin before the match? You could have just done a straight one-on-one match and had Charlotte win definitively. I think that would have made Charlotte look more threatening than what this did. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this feud. I do love the Naomi and the Jade Cargill side of things. I kind of wish that was for the WWE Women's Championship and not Charlotte Tiffany, but they still have a few weeks. We'll see what they can do. I forgot how much chemistry Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton have. They put on a really fun match in only about 10 minutes. If they had more on the 15-minute side of things, I think this could have been easily the best thing on the show, but they put on a really fun match. Drew and Randy, if you remember back to 2020, they fought several times for the WWE Championship, and this was another fun match. It ended up ending with a Kevin Owens distraction on Randy Orton, which led to a Drew McIntyre Claymore and a win for Drew, which I thought was just well done in my opinion, because to me, Randy doesn't have to have a win going into WrestleMania against Kevin Owens. Like that's such a personal heated rivalry that like wins and losses on the way to that show aren't going to really hurt or help either Randy or Kevin, in my opinion. And Drew kind of needed a win, in my opinion. He had been getting the shorthanded things lately, so I think a win over somebody like Randy Orton really builds his credibility back up. Obviously, I think it's going to end up being a match with Damian Priest, which again, I really hope he wins that at WrestleMania 2, and he just starts building momentum back into the World Championship scene. But gosh, I forgot how good these two were together, and they kind of proved it again tonight. I just wish they had a little bit more time to go. Jimmy Uso ended up taking on The Miz. They had a little bit of a backstage confrontation earlier in the show, so Jimmy Uso ended up challenging The Miz. There was no Carmelo Hayes in this, which was kind of interesting, but Jimmy Uso kind of took The Miz to school a little bit, dominated for most of the match. The Miz got control for a little bit, and then Jimmy Uso ends up hitting a splash. 1, 2, 3, quick little thing. Again, those are two names I forgot that could be in the U.S. Championship multi-man match. Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Maybe they get stuck in there, but after seeing how much they're trying to build up Jimmy, I just don't see him not walking out of WrestleMania with the United States Championship, whether that's him beating LA Knight one-on-one, which I don't think is going to happen because they're two faces. I more so see it as a multi-man, like Fatal 4-Way, Fatal 5-Way, six-pack challenge kind of match. But good win here for Jimmy Uso, who, by the way, has looked a lot better than Jay the last couple weeks in the ring and honestly on the microphone. He just has more substance, and I think what allows him to get more substance is he's not like driven through the yeet character that Jay Uso has. He can just kind of talk and like be himself more as opposed to Jay. So I think they're doing a really good job with Jimmy Uso as of late, and I hope he does get a big payoff at WrestleMania because I think he deserves it. And then finally, the main event of the show, we had Roman Reigns. He made his entrance, said he came here for two things. One was to be acknowledged, and the London crowd definitely chanted his name super loudly, so he went, check, got that off the box, Roman Reigns acknowledged. Two, signed the contract for the triple threat match at WrestleMania, which he does, and right as he's about to say, my work here's done, boom, burn it down, Seth Rollins. He comes out, talks about the history that him and Roman Reigns have. Roman ends up going off on Seth, saying, like, what have you done for this company compared to what I've done? I'm the one who's moved the needle. I brought this company to Netflix. What have you done? And Seth said, I've always had to clean up your mistake, and points out the mistake of letting Punk into the Garden, into the WWE. And I love the role that each character is playing in this triple threat. I love how they're giving Seth that just pure rage and hatred towards both guys. Like, I mean, because he's justified as to why he hates both guys so much. Punk being the one who's like, look, y'all are only in this business because of me. And then Roman being like, nope, I'm the needle mover. I'm the reason for all of this even being the main event of WrestleMania, which is the next thing that gets brought up. CM Punk makes his entrance. He's looking through the contract, and Roman goes, look, this is what we've got in the contract for you. Paul, tell him what's in the contract. Roman thought that this was the favor. Turns out it's not the favor, but what Paul ends up revealing is that this is going to close the night one show for WrestleMania. Punk gets emotional. Seth is pissed off beyond belief. Cannot believe that they would give Punk that opportunity. Punk goes on to thank everybody, and Roman Reigns goes, no, listen, the only person that you need to be thanking is me. So CM Punk gets on one knee and says, Roman, big dog, tribal chief, holder of the Ulafala, thank you very much for this main event of WrestleMania. And it looks like that's how we're going to end the show, but Punk drops a little bit of a bombshell right before we close the show. He goes, but that's not the favor I'm owed, which that makes everything so much more interesting in my opinion. I think a lot of fans thought that the favor was just that Punk would get a main event of WrestleMania, which that is, he ended up getting it, but that's apparently not the favor. That makes me think that the favor is Paul Heyman siding with CM Punk. I think that's what we're going to get. I could be wrong. I'm excited to see how it plays out on the rest of the road to WrestleMania, but it just seems like Paul's holding something back that he knows Roman is not going to be happy with, because the whole time while Punk was thanking Roman, Paul just had a little bit of a worried look on his face, knowing that Punk was eventually going to say something. And when he did say that that's not the favor I'm owed, Paul looked stressed, and Roman instantly looked at Paul. So I think it has something to do with Punk getting Paul Heyman, Paul siding with Roman Reigns. But we'll see. Maybe that's not what it is. I think that is what we're going to get, though. But that's all for the March 29th episode of Friday Night SmackDown. If you guys enjoyed SmackDown or enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment what your favorite part of the show was. I would say my favorite part of the show was either the tag team title match or the triple threat contract signing. I thought both were great. But yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next review. Take care.